at you all the way from our dorm rooms to your conference rooms. Sabah and Dan Teeman here, two college students who are ready to talk to you guys about business and lifestyle from our personal experiences.
Each week we'll discuss about our lifestyle as college students as well as our tips and strategies starting in the business field. We'll bring on successful entrepreneurs in the millennial generation, share with us their journey and how they got started and where they're at now.
Our goal is to help you students, millennials, and entrepreneurs gain inspirational advice by our spontaneous conversations and meaningful guidance. Let's dive on in.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 17 of Dorm Rooms Conference Rooms podcast. We have another special episode for you guys, and it's going to be awesome today. Sabah, how are you doing?
Doing good. So excited to talk about our topic today because not many people like talking about failures, but we're going to hit on some failures that we had and some things that we learned from it.
Yeah, guys, everyone fails in life. Like, I know that I have failed at everything I've done. I just failed over the weekend by losing 2 lacrosse games. But you fail. Failure is a part of life, and it's how you respond to those failures, that really makes up for it or really just defines a person. And a lot of people have failed. You've seen Coca-Cola in their first year only sold 7 bottles, and pretty much that's a failure, right? And that didn't matter. They kept going, and now their name alone is worth over $70 million. Like, Coca-Cola could have closed up shop after their first year with 7 bottles, but instead they kept pressing on, and now they're worth over $70 million. Like, that's just crazy to me. Sabah, can you touch on some of your personal failures really quick?
Yeah, for sure. So I remember one of the main reasons I came to Iowa State University was to be a part of their fashion show. And I remember as a freshman, I was really excited to be a part of it because I remember my sister would always talk about the fashion show and how big of an event it was. And the ISU fashion show is one of the largest student-run fashion shows across the nation. So that was like one of the main reasons I came to Iowa State. So I was a freshman and I applied to be part of the fashion show, and I got the response back and I didn't get in, and I was really upset about that because I was a freshman. I was so excited to be a part of it, but it was just because I didn't have enough experience. So that was really tough for me to overcome, just because that was one of the main reasons I went to Iowa State University. But I learned from that, and then throughout my freshman year and then throughout that summer, I got more experience. And then the following year, I applied again and I got in. So that's one of my main things that I learned from on how you have to just keep pushing forward and try to learn on your way to getting that success at the end. So that's one of my main, failures that I had in college that I really had to overcome.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we all, everyone fails at one point in their life, like I said before, and it just is how you deal with it is what matters. I know I've actually, when I was applying to colleges, I didn't get into some colleges. I didn't do well in high school. I didn't care in high school about my grades or anything like that, and my mind is really, my mindset has changed, and I'm doing really well in school now and all that, but I still apply to colleges. I didn't get in, but I'm still going to apply. You got to try. Being a Chicago native, I love what Michael Jordan has to say. Michael Jordan said, I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying. Guys, that just is talking about, you have to try. If you think you're going to fail, it doesn't matter. Try and go do it. If you want to, start a podcast and your podcast fails, who cares? Try and do it anyway. If you want to start a business, most businesses fail within the first 3 years, I want to say, or within the first year even. And it doesn't matter. You got to make the attempt, because the more failures you have, the more you learn from it. So really, it's not failing. It's just learning lessons. They're just learning curves. And you get better at what you do from that.
Yeah, for sure. And something that I want to bring up that one of my high school teachers told me, he was my favorite teacher, Tim Cipher. He was one of my business teachers. And he told me in the whole class how he tried to start so many businesses, but over half of them failed. And he just tried to keep pushing and pushing through. Then finally one stuck to the wall, and then he ran with it. So it doesn't matter on how many times you fail. What matters is that you just keep pushing through that. So one of my favorite quotes from Charles Bukowski is, what matters most is how well you walk through the fire. So everybody has failures in life. There's always going to be down points and obstacles that we will have to overcome, but what matters is how we deal with them. I mean, a lot of people, they get upset when they have failures and they think, oh, that's like the end of the road for them. But in reality, it's not. If you fail at something, that's your point. And when you learn on those failures and then you keep pushing forward to those successes. So I just really like that quote because it really depends on how one person deals with their failures and how they push through from that.
Yeah, and you guys literally, you just have to, stand back up, right? You're gonna fall down 100 times. You have to stand back up 100 times. Don't let it get you down. Don't let anything ever bother you. Just keep going with it. I mean, I could think of 1,000 failures I've had, whether it's playing lacrosse or in school, literally failing tests. Like, if I was to, just quit school after every failed test, I'd probably have made it to about, I don't know, junior year of high school, let's say. And that's all I would have ever made it to because I failed at those things. I wasn't good at testing. But you got to just learn to stick with it because it's part of life. Failure is just a part of life. And you keep going with it and you just keep driving. I mean, I know one of the biggest failures I think I've ever had was we were in the Prep Bowl. It's a Chicago type of thing. It's a championship in Chicago for football. And it's just below state. And it used to be the most watched high school football game in the nation at one point. But anyway, so we were in the Prep Bowl. And we lost. We lost by like 2 points or something like that. But that didn't stop my football career. I still went to go play collegiate football at First St. Norbert College up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Like, it just doesn't matter at your failures. It doesn't matter. We're all going to fail. And even, like I said before, Coca-Cola failed. You have Andy Frisella who started his protein shop. And in the first day, I want to say only in the first day, he only made $7. Within the first month, he only made like $200 off his protein shop. Now he's worth millions of dollars. Like, you just keep going with it. You got to go with the flow.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people, like, failures happen not just in business, but in like life and relationships also. I mean, for myself, I was in a relationship for 4 years in high school. And to me, I thought that was going to be like my forever relationship, but it didn't work out. And that sucked. Like, I felt so terrible when that didn't work out. And I thought that I failed in life because that relationship didn't work out. Like, I was in high school, we were together for 4 years, and we thought that, I mean, it was going to last forever, but then we just started to go our separate ways. It was a really bad relationship towards the end, and I thought that I just failed at relationships altogether. But then, like, from that, I'm so glad that I had that relationship because a lot of people, they look back on their bad relationships. They're like, oh, I wish that never happened. But for me, I'm really glad that it happened because that relationship really molded me into who I am today. Like, that made me so much stronger in everything that I'm doing, and it really gained my confidence also. So people, if you guys have had like bad relationships and you think like, oh, like I failed, I can't ever be in a relationship again, that's like not right. That's like you can learn from those relationships and then build yourself to become more confident in like who you are. So that was like one of my really bad failures, but I'm so glad that that happened because I learned from it.
Yeah, speaking about relationships, I mean, not to get too statistical or anything like that, I mean, divorce rates at like 50% now, I want to say, even. So relationships, personal relationships, fail just like businesses fail and everything like that. And it happens, guys. Like, it's straight up, it happens. You are going to fail at one point in your life. No one's perfect. And I know we beat ourselves up on the inside, but it's kind of like, a goalie in any sport. If you make a mistake, like, or a kicker in football, I was a kicker, so I know what it's like. You got to have a short-term memory. You mess up something, you just forget about it and you keep going. So, yeah, you learn from it at the same time, and you look back to learn, but you don't look back to dwell on it. It happened. It's over with. You learned, and you just keep moving on. And it's the only way you're going to really get better at things or get through life is, you just got to keep moving. Because everyone who kind of lives in the past kind of just lives with their failures. They don't accept that that's not how things didn't go their way, and they were able to move on. Things don't always go our way, guys. We're humans, and it's life. Things don't go your way, and that's what a lot of people I feel like don't actually understand right now. And the millennial generation, we're really known for it, that we were coddled by our parents and all this stuff, and everyone gets a participation award. And I'm sorry, but I'm straight up against that. Like, you fail, you lost, you don't get an award for losing. You got to keep going until you win, and you got to win that award. And that's my personal view on all that stuff.
Yeah, and especially the career of like entrepreneurship, a lot of people they only see the successes, but they never see like the failure side of people who have successful businesses. And like the reality is we learn more from our failures than we do from our successes. Because when you fail, you see what you did wrong or what you messed up on, and then you make sure in the future that you don't do that again. So when we do have failures, it's best to just learn from them because I mean, for me, I'm glad that I've had some of my failures. Otherwise, I wouldn't have learned from them and it wouldn't have made me do this podcast, do like my blog and do my other stuff. So failures really lead to other things that can help you in the future. So yeah, but like in selling, you're gonna hear more no's than yeses. It's like you make your sale between the 6th or the 17th time you approach a person. So if you keep approaching a person, they keep saying no, eventually they're going to see where you're doing it and they're going to say yes. So just keep pushing, guys, whatever you guys are working on, whether it is on business, your classes, your relationships. If you had failures, just learn from them and keep pushing.
Yeah, definitely, guys. And if you want to check out more about us and learn, everything we're doing, you can find us at dr2cr.com. That's our website right now. We have all of our old podcast episodes up there, guys, and you can learn about failures literally from experts. Like, you'll hear failures from Brandon T. Adams. You'll hear failures from Brandon Ballard, who owns a financial firm, from Arnie Gitsky, from the Millennial Entrepreneur Podcast. You'll just learn about a bunch of failures from, really high-ranking people, from really, successful people. You'll hear about their failures along the road. So you can find that at dr2cr.com. You can find Sabah at sabahali.com. And you can find myself at danieltieman.com. Sabah, what are some final words?
Definitely check us out, guys. Connect with us. We'd love to talk to you. But just remember, your failures will inspire you. So if you do have failures, just learn from them. Don't stop when you do get a failure. Just learn from them and keep pushing, guys. So thank you for listening today on Dorm Rooms to Conference Rooms.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Dorm Rooms and Conference Rooms. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you haven't joined our accelerator program yet, you can find that at livetogrind.com/college, where we connect you with today's latest influencers and experts in their fields.